Hello everyone, welcome again. Today I want to start something different for you. So I will start a course of Gnosis, and this will be the first lesson. I hope I will be able to publish at least one episode every day. That's my goal. So let's get started with this one. So, from the point of view of Gnosis, the origin of our spirit is in the in the origin of the universe. We were in some kind of place where we can say it was the absolute, the origin, some kind of black hole, if you want to call it, in cosmic sense. So in this absolute, there was really nothing, and we were in this place absolutely without any consciousness, and we want to see how the spirit goes from this origin, from the absolute, to where we are now, and what is kind of the path and the process that we go through life and all the different stages. So these are the different topics that we're going to discuss during this course, and specifically during this lesson in particular. So we're going to see the topics of cosmic day, manifestation, the wheel of samsara, human life, animal life, plant life, mineral life, emancipation, and cosmic night. So first of all, cosmic day. In this cosmic day is when we start existing somehow, but the first time we came into existence, we were in the absolute, and in the absolute, we were in a state of divine innocence. We are completely ignorant. We don't know anything. We lack self-awareness. We don't know anything about ourselves. We don't know ourselves. We're completely happy, but we don't even know that we're happy because we don't have any self-awareness. We're how to say, at some point we're incapable of appreciating our own happiness. So we have this inexperience, and somehow during the cosmic day we come into being, we come into a manifestation, and we start to learn something. So we will go from this original state of divine innocence, into the next stage. So the manifestation is when we leave the absolute. We leave the absolute, our spirit leaves the absolute, and we come into the universe as we know it. So it is some kind of a material world with different levels of density. So when we are in the absolute, we don't have any existence whatsoever. There is no materialist manifestation. And then we come into being, we come into the manifestation, because it's a process of learning, and we want to learn. Somehow is the absolute wants to know itself. This is kind of the principle of Gnosis, and we're part of the absolute, and we have the same nature of the absolute, and we want to know ourselves. So we need to learn, and this is what we want to develop. This is the Gnosis, or the knowledge. We want to develop this self-awareness. So this self-awareness is impossible if we don't leave the absolute. We will be completely happy, but we will not have any consciousness, and we will not be able to have this happiness, this conscious happiness, we will not be able to go from not knowing anything to the experience of the universe. So this is what we want to achieve. And when we start in the manifestation, we come and we start this mechanical process that in the Orient is called the wheel of Samsara. So this wheel of Samsara is like is explaining here, is a mechanical process, so it's completely materialistic, and we cannot escape from it. So that's why it's some kind of slavery. It's completely predictable and involves a lot of suffering, and we will go through this cycle 3,000 times. So the wheel of Samsara, it is composed of different quarters. So each quarter is using different elements that we are going to discuss. So the first quarter of this part of the wheel of Samsara is the human life. So when we have the human life experience, we have the opportunity to self-discovery. So we can make some mistakes, but we will learn something during the process of this. And because of these mistakes we're doing, we will start to experience the different laws, the laws of karma and dharma. Okay, so basically what karma means is the law of action and reaction. So you are going to do something, maybe it will be a mistake, so you will hurt someone, and this will cause a negative consequence, and this consequence needs to be balanced. So then, to keep the system in balance, this negative consequence, you need to experience it also, because you cause someone some kind of harm, so you will need to experience also this harm to keep everything in balance. So this is karma. Karma is you do something negative to someone, and you will experience the consequence of this negative action. And dharma is the opposite. Dharma means you are producing a positive action, so you will experience a positive reaction. So for every action there is a reaction. Is like physics is a universal law, and you will experience both either karma or dharma, and you will see in your life reflected, you will have more dharma or more karma depending on what was your behavior. And this is some kind of justice, as divine justice, so we can call it justice, or we can call it balance, so balance is the universal justice. So you will need to keep the system in balance through this process. But of course, this opportunity for self-discovery comes with suffering, so there's a lot of pain, and we need to start to understand. And during this understanding the understanding comes through error. So we start to understand, okay, what is the purpose of life? What am I doing here? What happens if I do something positive? What happens if I do something negative? I learn to experience some pleasure. I need to experience some pain, and I need to grow up, get older, then probably get sick, and after some time then I will die. So you're learning, and this is part of the human life phase of the wheel of samsara. And as part of this process, we will experience 108 lives as humans, and these are consecutive. Of course, this includes the assumption that you will be reborn after each life, but this is somehow different from what some people think it is. they have this notion that maybe you can become animal or plant or something else. But according to the Gnosis, you will experience 108 consecutive lives. So you will always be human until the last life comes. And then after you become the last life as a human, the life number 108, it comes a point where it is decided if you develop your consciousness. If you fully awoke your consciousness, you are completely self-aware, your consciousness is fully awake, then you can leave the cycle. But we are going to start first with the assumption that everything is like a standard mechanical process. So after the 108th life, you will start to go into the involution of the wheel of samsara. So this is called some kind of involution process. It's a degeneration process, some kind of cleansing. So you're cleansing your spirit or your soul from the mistakes that you experience. So let me give you some kind of example. So we're going to start here, let's say in the top, and so we were humans for 108 lives, and after that we will start going down in this cycle, and that's when we will go into the animal kingdom. So that's when we will start to experience animal life, and we will continue going through different species. There is no way to know exactly how this process goes, but when we go from human to animal, because we're going in the involution, we start to go into animals that are probably with more negative energy than normal. And this is kind of the cleansing process. There is nothing really bad about it. After a certain number of lives, then we will continue the involution even further, and then we will reach the next stage in the wheel of samsara. So we will become different kinds of plants in different species, different things. So this becomes also part of our experience, and continues the degeneration, continues the cleansing of the spirit, continues the cleansing of the soul, and it is part of the experience of the spirit. And after that we will reach the stage of mineral life, which is the last step of involution, degeneration, or cleansing. So just to show this again, so we were humans here, then we go as animals, then we will go as vegetal or plant life, and at the end we go as minerals. So in the last stage is probably the longest, so the level of density is higher than the other stages. And after the mineral life, we will go up again. So if we go to the wheel of samsara, then we will be going into the mineral again, then we will go plant life, then animal life, and then again human. So this is how the process actually works. So then goes in reverse, but when it goes in reverse and we become human again, it is the reverse, but it becomes evolution. So we go from mineral, and then after mineral we will go from mineral to plant to animal, and finally we will become human again. And this cycle is repeated 108 lives. So this, I'm sorry, I didn't say correctly. This process is 3,000 cycles. So 108 lives as human, then we go into animal life, plant life, mineral life, and then from mineral we go to plant life, animal life, and then human again. So this cycle of the wheel of samsara is repeated 3,000 times, or 3,000 cycles. So this is what we are going to experience. So this is what we were saying here. So because this process is a mechanical thing, we want to escape from this process, because after some time you already learned most of what you wanted to learn, at least from one cycle you already know what you want. But if we don't wake up our consciousness, we don't awake our consciousness, we will continue, in this slavery process of the wheel of samsara. So to become free from the wheel of samsara is necessary to dissolve the ego. And the ego is basically the consciousness. The consciousness becomes trapped by experiences, by traumas. In a way, it's like the flow of a river. A river flows completely without obstacles. And this flow of energy, the flow of life, the energy force that we have, the life force, is normal. But when we have a negative experience, then we create a reaction to a specific event, and this event creates some kind of obstacle in the flow of energy. And because of this obstacle in the flow of energy, every time we experience the same event, we will feel pain and we will become sick. And this is a process that becomes more complex and more complex. So every time it is more difficult, and our consciousness is trapped in these events. Every time we become, let's say, affected by a negative event, we don't learn from it, and we continue to suffer, even if the event is no longer meaning. It doesn't have any meaning anymore. So the solution for this is to dissolve the ego. The ego is somehow the bottle where the consciousness is trapped. So after we start to dissolve the ego, we will awake our consciousness, and as part of this process, it is also possible to build the solar bodies. The solar bodies are different from the physical body, and these bodies will allow the person to become actually superhuman and will become really immortal. So it will not die anymore. We will stop the pain. We will overcome the process of karma and dharma, because we see that they are no longer necessary for us, and we break the cycle of the samsara. We stop the wheel, or we break the wheel, however you want to see it. And however, this cycle, this kind of solution is only for the few. Not everyone wants to continue this. So if we go to what is normal, what is normal is that we come here the first time after the cosmic day started, and we become human for the first time. Then we go down as animal, plant, mineral, then again plant, animal, human again, and we do 3,000 cycles here. And at the end of these 3,000 cycles comes the cosmic night, and then the universe is dissolved. So everyone goes back to the origin, and because of this, we will have a different experience than when we started, and the conscious makes the difference. So if you didn't develop your conscious during the 3,000 cycles, you will go back to the same stage that you were at the start. So you will have this happiness because you are no longer in the manifestation, you're no longer in the universe, but you will not be aware of your own happiness, and you will not have the ability to remember everything that you lived. So this is the process of the spirit. This is how Gnosis sees all this process, and it's actually very very interesting. I hope you will become interested in this course and will continue to come here. And if you have any questions at any moment, you're welcome to contact me with comments or questions. And I want to remind you about the opportunity to support my work as content creator. In the description of every episode, I include information about different platforms you can use to support my work with donations. If you want to, you can also support me by liking, sharing this episode in social media, and subscribing. I hope to see you again very soon. Thank you for watching.